And good morning from CNET NY Studios on Monday, February 27th. It's time for episode 185 of the newly renamed 359 podcast to the Fox and Wolf Show. Good morning, Ben Fox, Rubin, and Iyaz, the Wolf, Akhtar.
Awoo.
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 Awoo. What's up, guys? How was your weekend?
It was okay.
Mine was great.
It was merely fine. I'm very happy to be back in the podcast. So yeah,
All weekend you're just kind of rocking in a ball. Need a podcast. Need a podcast. Need a podcast.
Must
Monday.
podcast. I just tried to podcast in front of my kids, and they're like, "We don't want to listen to this." This is stupid.
Ben's entire life is now timed out in 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Like, I need to take a poop. Start the timer.
You can rate. There's a social experiment for your kids right there.
Yes.
They're like, Dad, you're 402. That doesn't work.
That's no good.
No.
That's no good.
All right, so what are we going to squeeze into 3 minutes and 59 seconds?
We
today?
have a lot to go over.
You're
from
not. No
Press Day.
kidding.
Yeah, from Press Day at Mobile World Congress, but we are going to try to stick to 3 minutes and 59 seconds. Obviously, we'll do some flow over, especially with questions and comments after the show. But yeah, there are a lot of announcements out of Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. If we have time, we'll mention the Oscars, which apparently was a thing last night.
Yeah.
But, kind of like, who cares?
I think, some people care. I don't know if any of them are in this room, though.
I watched it. I thought it was exciting while I was seeing it. But yeah,
I was watching old
let's get to the
episodes
phones.
of Frasier. I wasn't watching the Oscars.
Okay,
I guess
so
they're all old episodes now that I think of it. Anyway, you were saying.
let's see how much of this we can get through in 3:59. Send in your questions and comments. Brian will get to them at the end. And let's do it.
All right, everybody. Hang out. We'll be back to talk to you in the chat in 3 minutes, 59 seconds from 3, 2.
Welcome to the 3:59. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Iyaz the Wolf Akhtar.
Ooh. Mobile World Congress is going on in Barcelona with a ton of major phone unveilings. The biggest reveal is the LG G6. Let me tick off a couple of things here about it. 5.7-inch screen, dual lens camera. It's got an older Qualcomm processor, not the latest and greatest. Dust and water resistant. You can't replace the battery like with other LGs. Are you excited about this? This is the biggest reveal so far of Mobile World Congress, and I don't know that I'm getting that excited about it.
I think the biggest problem is that we knew about all of this already. LG was
Right.
teasing this like crazy. Their official site on Friday, I was checking out on the official site. On the bottom, it gave you all the specs already on their site.
Really?
Yeah, it was just in the little gray on white font. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're not noticing this. They're the dual 13 megapixel cameras on there, talking about the water and dust proof stuff. It was actually on their site already.
They're
without
just
an image.
excited. They're excited people are paying attention to them.
For now.
Apple's not in the room. Samsung's got...
Right.
What did Samsung do?
Samsung's like, hey, we are going to announce when we're going to announce the S8, and we also have a tablet that you don't care about, but we had to show you something because
It's the
we don't
S3.
want.
Yes.
Yeah.
The dog ate my homework, and now I only have an S3 tablet to show you.
They just
But really, who cares about the tablet? Like, who cares about tablets, period? And is this an interesting tablet? Like, it's an Android tablet. It seems very ho-hum to me.
It's got HDR potential. It's got an S Pen. You can actually use the S Pen on it. So if you're like just longing for the Note that's not available, you can draw on this one. Only
Sure.
9.7 inches. You don't have two models like the S2. So is anyone excited? No, but they needed something to capture the audience away from LG because they have the biggest phone, or at least the most high-profile phone.
Right, at
of
the
note.
show, which is important because it is a big show. This is one of the phones that I really like, that I was super excited about. We referenced this on Thursday's show. This is the Nokia 3310. This is a throwback phone. I love the specs on this thing. 2 megapixel camera.
Rear camera, yeah.
Right. Snake game and month-long battery life. And that is literally it. That's like all it does. Maybe it makes phone calls.
It looks super bright. There's a red one, there's a yellow one, or there might be like a fluorescent green. I don't know what color that is. And that original graphite looking thing. It looks good. It's supposed to be way thinner than
Right.
the old 3310. So people are, they're going to try to stress test this thing because that's Nokia's legendary, at least the old Nokia's, legendary for like destroying other objects with it because it's so
Wow.
tough.
Yes.
But this,
You can like hammer in a nail with that Nokia phone.
if you're ever on Reddit, you've seen these things when it comes to Nokias. So the question is, with these versions, we'll have that. But people are excited about this.
Yeah.
Way too excited about the 3310.
I'm really excited about it. First question though about it is retro tech back? We saw that throwback Nintendo.
Mhm.
People went crazy about it. Now we've got this phone. Is this now a thing?
I think it could be in the future. So retro is not back yet.
Retro will be a thing in the future.
It's scheduled. It's coming. I really think that mining the old IP stuff, you're gonna really find a lot of this stuff coming back. I imagine because there's only so many variants because everything looks the same. If you look at the G6 and you look at the S8,
totally,
it's like, hey, what do you have there? Oh, it's just a slab of metal and glass. Okay, okay. What do you have there? A slab of metal and glass.
Yeah, I got the 3310. This is a gorgeous piece of plastic that doesn't do anything.
There you go.
Watch out, people.
So
all right,
different.
we've got what 24 seconds. We're narrowly running out of time. Should we mention the Oscars?
Yes.
Should we talk about something?
Yes, Oscars. Mistake happened. You care?
I mean, I kind of care. I was excited about it when I saw it. I feel like I would be remiss if we didn't at least mention that the Oscars happened. It's kind of like the Super Bowl of something or other.
I think it was a publicity stunt.
It could have been. It could have been staged. Who knows? But anyway, all right, we're out of time. If you want to read more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Iyaz Akhtar.
Thanks for listening.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room, or maybe more accurately, the giant indestructible brick in the room. Everyone wants to talk more about the 3310.
Oh my God!
Oh, good.
Like,
yes.
You didn't see that coming.
I mean, it's a really. This is the other question I wanted to ask you, but we only had 4 minutes. Was who would actually use this phone? Like who is the market for
your kids? Just
okay.
like they were given to us in high school. Like
that's what I
had.
mentioned to Iyaz. But Iyaz had an interesting insight because his kid's a little older than my oldest kid.
Back when my kid was younger, I would give him like Android phones and things like that because he would use apps. And you're not going to have a lot of apps on this thing. So once they see Dad playing with whatever on his phone, they're gonna be like, "Why can't mine do this?" And I'll be like, "Because I hate you." Clearly,
kids are way savvy.
No. When I was little and I had the little red Tykes, plastic car, and my dad's car had a stereo in it, I didn't get mad. I was like, sweet, I got a car.
That's true, but there's no licensing process for receiving a phone or an iPod Touch or something that doesn't have a SIM. You don't need to have a phone.
Maybe parents don't want to give their kid a distraction appliance.
That's true. So
I totally agree with you, but I do
Snake
like
free model
Iyaz's
coming soon.
I like Iyaz's point that kids are very savvy. One of the first things my daughter learned how to do was to swipe and pinch and zoom. I'm not proud of it, but that's what happened.
It's supposed to be a natural interface, and that really is natural.
It is, and but it to me, I would probably feel more comfortable. She's only 4 years old, but I would probably feel more comfortable giving her that Nokia phone as opposed to something else that you would.
No, here's why: because that thing has the phone app up all the time, so they can dial people much easier. So you don't want a kid pressing buttons the whole time. I'm serious. Think about this: that hard keyboard there is a kid pressing buttons. You don't want to give a kid that.
I don't know. Call home to mom and dad.
What about your grandparents then?
That's also
they're still dead. Thanks for that,
MMP
Brian.
Cody.
Come on.
Jeez.
MMP Cody says he'd give it to his grandpa, and I think that's a good point because anytime my grandparents, if I try to give them anything, they're like, "What the hell is this devil machine?"
Okay,
it's like this at least resembles a phone.
I think it's a really cool device. I think the retro tech being back is really nice. I think there's really this great market for it. Like, yeah, there's some kids that'll like it. There's older people who like it, but there's a lot of simplified phones out there for this market already. The fact that Nokia is just what we remember, like, oh right, remember this was awesome. It's like, yeah, but here's the thing. I'm really curious if any of us who are like, yeah, this was awesome, but now we got this really cool thing. So like, you're not gonna go back to your red trike. Okay, you're not gonna be like, I can drive a freaking car, so I don't need this thing.
It's a novelty though. What if you had it as like a sidebar? I wonder if does track phone still exist?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what if you took that? If you were going to go, let's say, some kind of dangerous expedition, you're going rock climbing or something like that. You don't want to bring your smartphone with you,
and this one lasts for a month. That's actually a very interesting.
It could like save your fall for Christ's sake.
Totally.
But now wait, here's the other thing.
No, this is new Nokia.
Didn't that's always been the urban legend. You mentioned Reddit and how the 3310 has been this indestructible. Like they found them encased in concrete and they still have power, kind of thing. Like years later, are these going to be just as indestructible, or are they going to be flimsy machines like an iPhone?
This is a different manufacturer. Okay, this is HMD, and they've got the license to Nokia name, so nobody knows yet if these new 3310s are going to be as good as the old 3310s. So what's going to happen is, people are going to take old 3310s versus the new one, just start beating them together.
Throw them in a blender together and hope for the best.
We should do that.
We should.
We should do that.
All right,
we're doing it.
That's on the docket.
Okay. We're doing it.
3310 mega stress test side by side.
See which one breaks the other
model.
We can.
Oh my God, let's have a sword fight with them.
I would do it.
Okay.
Either way, I think
I think we
maybe
can set up a battery of tests for this.
Battery being the intended word.
Oh, that was a pun. That was good.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
missed it right over my own head right there.
And what is the price point on the 3310?
49 euro.
49 euros. A really nice, low price. 49 euros is probably, it's pretty close to
Depending on the day.
$50, $70. Let me check.
You say I can't do conversions in my head like that.
I don't know what the going rate
I'm
is
doing
of euro
it.
to dollars
I'm doing
right
it
now.
right now.
So we'll
if we
find
can-
out.
Tobias does not want us to beat the crap out of the phones. Come on, Tobias. What do you mean party pooper,
Okay,
man?
it's literally like $50.
Yeah, it sounds
The
about
euro,
right. Isn't that what they used to be too?
It's $52.05, which
Yeah.
means that you know, as a backup phone potentially, especially if you're like a really heavy smartphone user, but you have to make a phone call, emergency call, whatever. I'm not saying everybody would use it for that, but I kind of like your rock climbing example. The thing is that it's such a cheap piece of tech that you could just have it as a backup potentially.
Yeah, I would think that when I used to juggle phones way back in the old SIM card days, which is, I mean, they still have them now, but like I think people might get used to that idea of popping their SIM out and go, okay, I'm not using my iPhone tonight, I'm using this thing because I don't know where I'm going to be and what's going to happen. Like
Yeah.
you want that kind of thing going, but that's it's a really old school mentality. Remember to
Yeah,
switch your SIM.
I look at my smartphone so often that it might actually be a pretty brilliant way of like, getting a smartphone diet by just getting one of those things and keeping it for a week.
Maybe if it worked with a smartwatch, it's like, okay, the smartwatch has got all the brains. Now I never need to bring my phone out because it can't do anything.
Yeah, but then I'm still looking at a screen.
It's okay.
We should look at each other. We should talk to me and you
Well, I don't know.
talking to each other
If you
on a
take pictures with
podcast.
this 2-megapixel camera, I love that it's a 2-megapixel camera.
It's so
It's like,
junky.
It seems like they would have to go out of their way to find a sensor that small. It's like,
Right?
why
I
are
didn't
you
know they
doing
still
that?
made
How
those.
are you do like it's like finding like old RAM for your computer. You're like, okay,
Well, look at Instagram. Everybody adds the filter on it, and you got this mad
understand.
megapixel phone, and then
Yeah.
That's why I
you
used to use
degrade
my-
them to look stressed.
I
And
used to use my-
people buy ripped jeans for Christ's sake. Come on.
That's a good point.
Oh,
That's a good
gosh,
point.
I
The
don't know.
worse, the worse the camera,
we're
the better.
We're just circling around this whole retro tech thing, and nostalgia is one of the greatest motivators in the sales right now.
All right,
Because
I totally
we all-
agree.
We all hate what's happening right now, and we want to remember a better time.
Yeah, but then when you get this in your hand,
When
you go,
phones-
it doesn't do anything.
When my
but
phone
Snake.
sucked and my jeans were acid washed.
Yes,
That should've-
absolutely.
that should've
Those
been
were
the
good
title.
times.
When the phone sucked and my jeans were acid washed.
We, it's the internet. We can change it immediately.
Okay, good.
Pamela's asking if anybody knows when the pre-order's going up.
No,
No idea yet.
I can find out. Let me
just,
see.
I mean, they just announced
They
the thing.
just announced it, and I'm actually impressed that they even included pricing. So we don't know when this is going to be available quite yet.
Black Dove Studios burner phone, quote Heisenberg.
Yeah, I mean, but you could find a lot of other crappy phones for that. You don't need
Yeah.
this one.
So on
For
the
$50?
Well, you don't want to let this one go. You want a crappier phone for that.
You can't burner an indestructible phone.
That's a problem.
Okay, I mean, you just throw it out and have somebody else find it. So to answer the question, you can sign up to get notified when the phone is actually available, but it looks like it hasn't yet been announced when it's coming out. You can go on Nokia.com and find a little bit more information. But yeah, the features are literally 3 bullet points, and I think we read them on the podcast. So
Their actual
Kamal,
site just had
Kamal's
this-
saying between April and June is a alleged time in the UK, and Glenroy says in Jamaica they're advertising soon as well. So this has got to be a quick flip around.
I mean, technically the technology is there.
Yeah, right.
and it's
What's-
been there for quite some time.
You're literally
so
just waiting for the boxes to arrive at the store.
I don't think that they really have to
They didn't
figure out
actually
how to
make
make
new
it work.
phones. They just found like a warehouse stock and said, "Oh, marketing."
I bet those would do better if they go. These are the classic 30. They're
But they're so
original.
Those
How
things,
long do we
those things
wait?
are way too thick.
How long do we wait until somebody comes up with a case for the
Uh,
phone
Oh,
that bulks it
yes.
out?
Approximately a week.
Yeah.
That's mean on Kickstarter. It'll be 3D printed relatively soon, and it's got to
Somebody
bring
in the
weight
chat
up,
get to
too.
work on that
Love
right
that
now.
idea. I love that idea.
And somebody would actually figure out how to make that a battery pack.
We really have to do
Oh,
a video.
You really need more battery for that.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do
why
it,
not?
If you're gonna add the bulk, why not?
The
Actually, you know what?
3310 is going to outlive us all. It's the cockroach of phones.
You could put a better camera on it on the back. Make it a whole mod phone.
Oh God,
That was one thing
endless
that we didn't get to.
capabilities.
By the way, we didn't mention that like there's going to be a mod phone. There's a new mod on the Moto Z
Yeah.
that we wanted to mention,
It's-
which is going to have the Alexa integration.
It's going to bring
so
Alexa
that's
to
kinda
those
cool.
devices, and then
Yeah.
Alexa's coming to other Motorola phones, which is strange because now Google's allowing Assistant on Nougat and Marshmallow.
And yes, the G6 is coming baked in with Google Assistant as well.
That's the
So,
LG G6, and the Moto G5 is the other thing that might get Alexa in the future.
yeah. So people can expect to see more voice assistant capabilities on their different
Mhm.
phones, but you're probably going to have to be in the Android world if you want to get different
good one?
options. Yeah. Yes, definitely a good
Yeah.
one. Definitely a good one. But between Google Assistant and Alexa, it seems very likely to me that Apple is not going to play that game.
I think there's definitely. I mean, Jerry's reaffirming this in the chat, but there's definitely a market for this 3310 thing coming back. I don't think it'll be a novelty. I think there will be some legitimacy to it.
It's gonna be at Urban
There's
Outfitters.
definitely gonna. Oh, it's definitely gonna
Ugh.
be Urban Outfitters.
There you go.
There
Definitely
definitely
gonna be
is a
in
novelty
Brooklyn.
to it, but I think it could go beyond.
It's gonna be those kids with the America Online T-shirts. The 3310. You said like they're selling a $50
Yes.
America Online T-shirt
$45 American Online
Yeah.
T-shirt. Yes.
with the old logo.
And a 3310.
Nostalgia
Mhm.
sells. That's just what's
really
been
does.
happening. That's basically what created BuzzFeed. Was they did listicles of Transformers, and that was now they're bigger than Jesus.
Hey, we've
I'm
got
not touching that one.
off-topic question. Anybody know what the price of the Samsung Galaxy Book?
Samsung Galaxy Book. Are we talking about the Tab S3?
No, it's a different thing. I don't have it right now. I'm gonna look it up. But Samsung just kind of was just what's the word? Just stalling for time. It felt like
Just stalling for
Yeah,
time.
it's like, and also we still exist.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it's after the Note 7 was such a poor launch, I think they want to make absolutely sure that this is the right launch and they can, come back with a full head of steam. And the S8 is going to launch in New York on March 29th. That's when the
Galaxy-
announcement's going to be.
The Galaxy Book does not have a price yet.
Okay. We have some lofty requests in the chat right now.
Mhm.
Tobias wants a camera hub mod for the Lumia 1020 for the 3310.
Wow, Lumia. Okay.
Didn't that already have a 41 megapixel camera? Isn't that what we're talking about?
So what are we gonna do? Take two and stretch it?
It's gonna be difficult to do that. Wow, that was a good camera though.
I think it's gonna be impossible to do
Did
that.
you say it was
It's basic
41
physics.
megapixel?
There was a 41 megapixel Windows phone. I think that's the one he's talking about. It was the bright yellow one.
And then we're going to add a mod to it to make it even
No,
better.
he wants to put that lens. I think.
On the 3310 is what he's saying.
Ooh.
Dude.
I love that idea. That
Okay,
just
by
took
the
me
way,
a while.
you will
First of
have
all-
no way to actually see that because of the low res screen. So you have no idea. Until you test
Furthermore,
it with
is there
something
any
else.
onboard storage on these things? It's got like
I don't know.
what 5 megabytes or something like that. It's not like you're putting songs, let alone 41 megapixel photos on it.
I think
or
they
a
played it-
video.
Just one photo. That's
I think they played it right, though, because they could have crammed more tech into this phone. They could have made it more smartphone-y, and they decided not to.
Yeah, I wish I
They
could
were
have
like,
been there.
make it dirt cheap. Yeah.
I wish I could have been there for that conference. It's like, it's a phone. What's it do? Calls?
And Snake. And that's it.
I don't know. There's going to be backlash against that color snake. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not even like old original snake. So even though that snake is one of the bullet points, it's a modified version of
So
snake.
we're gonna need a mod.
I don't agree.
That,
There's going to be
that
backlash.
develops a hub so that you can plug the Nokia into your dial-up modem, so that you can download this app store. You make an app store for the Nokia, and then you can get a retrograded black and green
Mhm.
Snake
Ooh.
version.
Wow.
I bet that'll be a theme, the black and green version of everything.
Yeah.
So you can theme this because it's
I
right now
just-
it's so
I-
bright, so colorful. As in, like it has more than 4.
Later this year, I would like to come back to this issue and actually see how many of our viewers and listeners actually bought this phone, because it's super fun to talk about, but I do wonder what the use case is for
Like
it.
you remember, like you'd have to carry a phone and a music player.
Yeah.
Like that stopped.
Of
So like,
course.
can you imagine carrying extra stuff with you all the time with this?
Well, this phone is like super fun, but we were talking before the show too about like, what about like bringing back like a Sony Walkman or something like that, or like a Discman, and it's like that's not gonna play. That's not gonna work.
The
I don't
hipster
know.
marketplace.
That might work actually because vinyl came back. That means tapes are
Vinyl
next.
never really went away though.
True.
Correct.
In
That
a-
means, but tapes you can maybe there's still tapes that come out every
now
now
tapes
and
have
then.
come full circle, but it's again a sheer novelty because
Because the sound quality is horrible on
the,
cassette tapes,
the,
right?
the interaction is horrible as well.
Right.
Everything that was the first big step backwards in technology,
Mhm.
in my opinion, at least from listening
So
technology.
then an optical disc could come back like a CD.
Right, but there are
I mean,
limitations.
they're still
we're
running at peak
finding.
efficiency. It's not like you get better quality between one or the other. It's not, like the disc is still fully functional. It's just unnecessary when you don't need physical media.
Right, right. So there
I don't
are
know.
limitations to retro tech. Like
I think so.
the chances of a cassette tape or a cassette Walkman coming back seem pretty low, but maybe at MWC 2018.
Shout out Kamal, hashtag bring back Betamax. I'm on board with that.
Yes.
Bring back Betamax. Also, Black Dove Studios points out that we are going to have to relearn T9.
You will. I'm not doing that.
By the
hated
way,
that
bring
thing.
back Betamax should have been our headline. That should have been the headline.
Emil's got a good question. Which old phone brands do you want to see resurrected now that Nokia and BlackBerry's back with an Android twist?
Right. We didn't even mention the BlackBerry. Very good reference.
Yep.
And it's a keyboard BlackBerry made by TCL.
Mhm.
It hits all the necessary BlackBerry points, but the problem is like that's not going to bring back BlackBerry. Nothing else did so far. But and there's no nostalgia.
Flip phones.
Yeah, maybe if they did,
Thank you, Ajit.
yeah,
The
flip
Moto
phones would be
Razor,
pretty
the
sweet.
old one, the V3.
We all
Mhm.
had that phone.
That thing should be back one way or another.
Give it time now. Now that this Pandora's box is open, I mean, let's talk. We don't have much time left. Actually, we're almost over. But they had the Nintendo Classic come back.
Mhm.
Like everybody's just kind of reliving their golden years. So let's make a wish list real quick before we wrap it up for the day. What's what we think or what we want to see come back?
Teen Wolf themed flip phone. I'm going with that.
I don't even know where to start with that. I'm actually G4 from Apple. I want that.
Really?
Yeah.
You want the color box back?
No, that's a G3. The
Oh.
G4 with the floating kind of monitor
with the
arm.
telescope neck thing.
It didn't telescope, but it moved up and down.
Okay.
It kind of like a lamp.
Oh,
It
right.
looked
Yeah,
the
with that
most
like weird
Mac-y
little thing on the
looking
bottom.
Mac. Like it looked.
I
Like
would hope
it's
they
a
would
little robot.
update it a little bit, but I'm just saying like that would be the design I want to see again.
I mean, that's simply design though. They could shove modern
totally cool with
functionality
that.
in there.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we could get. We
the-
know people. We can mod.
The NES Classic isn't really running like the
No,
old circuit boards.
exactly.
It's just a
and
box.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I want that design. How about
but I
you?
mean, you're gonna have to if you want authenticity. That screen resolution's gonna go down.
No, I don't want that.
And there you see.
Well, I'm
Come on,
also,
Brian, it's your
This
turn.
also isn't running Symbian. This is in 3310, so I think it's okay that they updated a little bit.
Oh, Joe, Dreamcast remake. He knows how I. How I
Oh,
run here.
The
nice.
Sony Dreamcast? Come on.
Sega,
I'm sorry.
get out.
My mistake. My
Four
mistake.
letters starts with an S. Pretty good. It just filed in his head wrong. Okay, I do
I
that
mean,
all
this
the
is
filed
the
in
time.
my
kind of
head
guy who
wrong.
does need a 3310. Let's be honest. He's a little
Either way,
up there.
the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast.
Best
what were
system
the,
ever made.
I totally disagree. It was up against
Fight
what?
me.
What was it up against?
PlayStation 2.
The PlayStation 2 and what was the Nintendo one?
The
wasn't the
GameCube came
Wii.
well after.
The GameCube came after. All right, I did not like the Dreamcast, but I understand the nostalgia of it.
There are dozens of us. Dozens. Oh man, the sidekick. In the chat, I can't pronounce your name because it's just a mash of letters.
That's a great
They
idea.
want the sidekick to come back.
That would be fun.
I mean, okay. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to get the 3310, and if I get the 3310, I want a Palm Pilot back
Some
because I'm going
things,
to need somewhere to store the information.
some things should stay dead. I'm gonna go with that.
The Moto Razr flip phone with a big screen and Android OS. That would be a lofty. That's not that lofty. That's pretty easy to pull off.
That's
I
not
can
a
see
bad
that coming
idea.
back.
I like that, especially if you're updating the OS, so it's a little bit slicker.
Nokia's back, baby. They're going to completely reform
They're
the market.
taking over.
Yeah.
They're gonna kill Apple.
Screw the touchscreen. All right, we have to wrap it up. We're going long today.
All right, cool.
Thanks, everybody. That was really fun.
Okay, the 359 podcast is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, Google Play Music, and CNET.com. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
So long.